Good evening and welcome. I would like to open the public portion of the April 17th Richfield Park Board of Education meeting. The time is now 7:30. Let's begin with a salute to the flag. We want to start by wishing our business administrator, Scott Beisig, a happy 40th birthday. You look great. Thank you for all the work you've done for the district. And I would like to ask you to read the Open Public Meetings Act.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of the public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Richfield Park Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, place thereof posted in the Bergen Record, Star Ledger, Municipal Building, Board of Education offices, and district website. Public participation will be conducted both in person and virtually through Zoom. All public will be muted throughout the meeting. Public participation comments are limited to 5 minutes. The public will be able to both speak and be seen by the board when participating virtually or telephonically via Zoom. Individuals participating virtually that wish to make comments during the public participation will need to raise their hand by clicking the blue hand icon at the bottom of the Zoom window. Individuals participating by telephone that wish to make comments during public participation will need to hit *9 on their telephone to raise their hand. The business administrator, board secretary, will then unmute individuals one at a time to speak in order of the raised hand.
Thank you, sir. May I please have a roll call?
Mr. Cooney.
Present.
Ms. Kraft.
Here.
Mr. Feitros. Ms. McNeil.
Here.
Mr. Malul.
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Here.
Ms. Schmidt.
Here.
Ms. Velez.
Here.
Ms. Orth.
Here.
President Martinez.
Here, we have a quorum. We have no minutes to approve. We did have some communications from the public. Ms. Rachel Quiroa sent me a very well-written and compelling letter requesting that we look into extending the amount of time allotted to lunch or addressing the speed of service at lunch. I believe I have another letter also from a student with the same issues. This letter was shared with the board and the administration and will be discussed in several committee meetings. I also think that Pomptonian is planning a town hall style open house to address parents' concerns. If they're not, perhaps they should. Thank you for reaching out, and I encourage you to make your voice heard. This board will discuss every parent and student concern raised. I also received a timely letter from Mr. Pertasio regarding the benefits of having parents more aware of, engaged, and integrated in their children's education. This letter was also shared with the board and administration and will be discussed in our faculty and programs committee and our community relations committee. Of note is that the Community Relations Committee has put on 3 parent-child evenings to bring parents up to speed on how the district is addressing learning areas. I encourage you to attend the next one when it is scheduled. And again, thank you for contacting us about an issue likely on many silent parents' minds. More recently, I received a request from one of our coaches to have the board revisit our use of facilities policy to ensure our policy does not inadvertently price out families from our summer basketball camps. This is especially concerning for our female athletes who have significantly fewer opportunities and more obstacles to participating in sports. Speaking on behalf of the board, I can assure you and the public that the board understands the positive impact of these longstanding camps on our children and that we are not trying to get rid of them. Accordingly, I will ask the board to work with the administration to revisit how to keep these camps running while protecting our facilities and taxpayers. Again, thank you all for reaching out to the board and trusting that we will do our best do our best to work towards positive outcomes for our children. We are in effect on the same team, and our coaches and teachers' perspectives are the key to this district's success. We will now move on to committee reports. Buildings and Grounds, Trustee Cooney.
Thank you, President Martinez. Buildings and Grounds meeting took place on April 8th at 5 p.m. Those in attendance: Superintendent Vespignani, Assistant Superintendent Triglia, Business Administrator Bisig, District Operations Manager Igu, myself, President Martinez, and Trustee Schmidt. Those items discussed: Lincoln classroom usage. The committee reviewed the ongoing transition to change 2 office spaces into autistic classrooms. There are a few waivers, including ceiling and bathroom waivers, that need to be approved by the county and state level, and the rooms cannot be evaluated until they are developed into classrooms. Use of classroom waivers are being developed by DeCara Rubino for submission to the state for approval. 65 Challenger lease update, presented the latest update for Challenger Boulevard transition, waiting for more communication from the county BA and architectural firms. Update on maintenance reserve repairs. There's approximately $300,000 in ROD grants that might be pulled back to be used elsewhere, as it appears that the Lincoln School HVACs for the cafeteria might just need to be serviced rather than replaced. It appears the filters had not been changed in years, making the building administration realize that it could be working intermittently. Turns out the units are fairly new, and they will be tested over the spring break, so that could be a good bonus for us. We're also installing 4 new water fountains, 2 at Lincoln, 2 at Roosevelt. These fountains were purchased years ago and were not installed, and they are going to be installed now. And we're also waiting the final installation of the new LED signs at all 3 grammar schools. Looks like Grant School is going to be up last, and it will be scheduled for next week during spring break. In addition, other projects for spring break: floor replacements at Roosevelt School, the high school, Grant School, and Lincoln School are confirmed for next week. Roof repairs at the high school scheduled. High school gym water fountain installation scheduled during the week as well. And the water fountain installation at Lincoln and Roosevelt. Sorry, I repeated that. That sums it up. The meeting was adjourned at 5:30 p.m. and we are scheduled for our next Buildings and Grounds meeting on Monday, April 29th. That concludes the Buildings and Grounds meeting notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Cooney. We did not get to execute a policy committee meeting this month. Home to School Connection and Social Justice, Trustee Rodriguez.
We haven't met since the last board meeting, but we do have a meeting in May, the first week in May.
Thank you. Faculty and Programs, Trustee Kraft.
Good evening. The Faculty and Programs Committee met on April 9th, and in attendance were Dr. Vespignani, Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Triglia, myself, Trustee Rodriguez, and Trustee Velez. We discussed the agenda items on today's agenda. Additionally, we discussed the before and after care RFP, and we were informed that it has been posted and the closing date of April 24th. We'll review the submissions at our next meeting. We discussed the current plan for the expansion of our CTE program at the high school. The new supervisor for the CTE program has developed a plan for the upcoming school year. This plan includes the combination of our culinary and business programs to create a Chirp Cafe. And there are possible plans to combine engineering and woodworking in the future. There's a planned potential visit to Lodi to see how this program is currently working, and we are currently exploring child development options for future work. The school performance report was reviewed and discussed, and I believe Dr. V will be discussing it at length in his report. And that is all we discussed at our meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 30th.
Thank you, Trustee Kraft. Finance and Insurance, Trustee Orth.
The Finance Committee met on April 8th. In attendance were Dr. Vespignani, Assistant Superintendent Ms. Triglia, Business Administrator Mr. Bisig, Dr. Martinez, Mr. Malul, and myself. We discussed a potential lease for district administrative offices. Negotiations are ongoing. The state has approved our pre-K budget for next year. We discussed a revised resolution for the 24-25 budget on tonight's agenda. This is in an effort to provide a more transparent summary of our budget. The proposed budget has not been amended. Dr. V discussed proposed renewals of unaffiliated employees. Our next meeting will be on Monday, April 29th.
Thank you, trustee Orth. Negotiations, trustee McNeil.
Thank you. The negotiations committee met twice in the time since our last meeting, once on the 8th and again on the 15th of April. That committee was trustees Velez, Feitros, myself, Dr. Martinez, Dr. Vespignani, Mr. Disler, and Mr. Bisick was on the 4-8 meeting. That was with the RPSA, and we have made substantial progress with that bargaining unit as well, and hope to have more to report in the coming meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee McNeil. And we'll now move to superintendent's report. Do I introduce them? Okay, we have a presentation from our auditors. Mr. Breeze?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Alex Burries from Lurch, Vinci and Bliss. I'm here to present your June 30th, 2023 audit. The district received unmodified opinions, which represent a clean opinion. That's the highest level that can be obtained. Usually I go over your general fund, which is your operating fund balance. Your general fund balance increased from the prior year from approximately 8 million to 12.2 million at year end June 30th, 23. However, there are some restrictions to the fund balance. The first being your capital reserve. In your capital reserve, you have approximately 8.5 million, of which 4.1 is currently used in your current 23-24 budget. Your capital reserve fund balance is only restricted for capital projects that are in your long-range facilities plan. Your maintenance reserve, which is restricted for your required maintenance budget appropriations, has approximately 1.5 million. The next restriction is your encumbrances. There is 430,000 of encumbrances at year end. These are your purchase orders that were committed where the goods and services were not received as of June 30th. And lastly, your unassigned fund balance is approximately 1.8 million. That is the 1.5 max that can be restricted there and could be used for any expenditures. There's no restriction there. As far as your recommendations, I had met with the finance committee about a month ago where I discussed in detail the 8 recommendations in the audit, and there was 2 repeats from the prior year. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review the annual comprehensive financial report and the AMR, which detailed the recommendations for the June 30th year. If there is any questions about fund balance or any of the recommendations in the audit, I can take those at this time.
Any questions from the board? Mr. Burries, can I dilute into lay terms your report for those of us that are not accountants?
Sure.
You said no major, again, excuse the word, infractions or problems?
Right.
And-
So there was,
Go ahead.
yes. So the recommendations that are in the audit are not material weaknesses and there are not significant deficiencies. Those are the higher level recommendations that would, but all the recommendations that are in there right now are all general comments. And these recommendations will be addressed in your corrective action plan that I believe is on this agenda or in a previous month's agenda.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from board members? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Burries, and thank you for working with the administration to get this done.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night. Oh, superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Martinez, and good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin with our student liaison report and welcome Adam and Chloe.
Good evening. My name is Adam Verselli, and I'm the student body treasurer.
Good evening. My name is Chloe Amani, and I'm the student body secretary.
We would like to give you an update on some of the activities that have taken place at RP Junior Senior High School. Tomorrow night will be the National Honor Society induction. After an intense application and review process, 34 new members will be inducted into this prestigious society. Our student government created the first ever community scavenger hunt. The purpose of this hunt is to learn more about our school and our community. This started last Thursday, and students have a full week to go around town and submit photos. We have purchased great prizes for our top 3 people with the most correct photos submitted. On April 8th, we also hosted an empanada sale on National Empanada Day. This easy fundraiser was a big hit with the student body while also supporting local businesses. Our spring sports season is in full swing. In softball, the Lady Scarlets topped Dumont in a league game 3-1 on Monday. Pitcher Gabby Rivera has given up only 1 unearned run over the last 3 games. Corel Kulala had a big RBI single tying the game, and then Gabby hit a home run to cap the game. The Scarlets stand at 8-2 for the season.
Track has had 2 dual meets that went well, and this week is their county relay group meet in Riverdale. With a young team, they are showing success in events and setting new personal records every meet. After a win versus Dwight Morrow, the baseball team is 6-2 for the season. They are led by senior Shalo Sino with a .467 batting average and had his 100th career hit. He was also named Big North Player of the Week. Seniors Victor Rodriguez is hitting .412 with 3 home runs, and Hector Zarzuela .370 average with 8 RBIs. The boys' tennis team is led by senior captain Nick Schneider, a 4-year varsity letter winner. He is joined by 3 sophomores and 3 freshmen, and the season is off to an exciting start. On Monday, the team participated in a very competitive match against Passaic Valley, in which Nick and the doubles team of Hans Gomero and Kalel Rodriguez had impressive straight set wins. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that student liaison report. Always great to hear the perspective of our students and the many wonderful events that are occurring. So thank you. I respectfully submit the HID report that was presented to the board in executive session. And tonight we'll be recognizing some students and their families. I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Chris Heck from the Elks to recognize this student achievement from an essay contest. So welcome to our families and students.
Hello all. My name is Chris Heck. I'm the Americanism Chairman for the Richfield Park Lodge 1506 of the Elks. I'm also a 1984 graduate of this school. God, I'm old. So this year, it was quite a daunting essay contest. They were asking for 300 words on what the Bill of Rights means to me. Not the easiest topic. What I do is I then, Candy's great. Candy got me 176 entries from 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, which is sensational. And then I read through them several times, and then I come up with my top 3. And then this year we decided to give out a $25 gift card to the top one, in my opinion, from the local contest. So I have those 4 winners. Then we go to a district meeting where I present my top 3 in each category, and all of the people just like me, the other chairman, they vote on which one is going to win the district and which 3 are going to go on to the states. And then in the states, same thing, 3, and that can advance to the regional. So you don't have to win my local contest in order to advance to the district or state. Okay? Okay. First up, Jana Guzman. She here?
Everybody's here.
Okay. Congratulations. Second up, Adi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Third up, Julian. Congratulations, Vanessa. And then we have Sayan Ortiz. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, then they gave me, those were $25 gift cards. Then they went to the districts, and today they handed me the district awards to hand out. So we have Sayan coming back up. For first place in the district contest, a $25 gift card and a coin. Then they moved on to the states. And this is the part that I don't like because they're making my $25 gift card look paltry.
But that's okay. We like.
That's okay. Okay, so we have the state contest, Division III, Grade 7, third place, Julian. Congratulations. And a $100 check. Next up, we have Mia.
Is the one that's not here.
Mia's not here yet. Okay, we have, she was Division II, Grade 6, third place winner. And then back for the third and final time, Sayan Ortiz. Congratulations. She receives a $200 check from the New Jersey State Elks Association. Thank you very much. This is Mia's.
Okay, thank you. Dr. B, can we take a picture with the board real quick with all our recipients? Can we have all just the winners come on up for a minute? Then we'll take some with the families when we're done. And Mr. Heck, of course.
Parents, thank you very much. Really, they were very good. I'm always impressed.
Something baseball or secret.
Very well. Well, thank you again to our families and students for this achievement. Thank you to Mr. Heck for representing the Elks and joining us this evening. Also to Candy Ramba, our elementary coordinator of school and community programs, and for our principals who were able to make it out this evening to support their students. And again, congratulations, a wonderful accomplishment. So to continue my report in school news, in our K-6 schools, the NJSLA testing for students in grades 3rd through 6 will begin on May 7th. Friendly reminder to our families to help support the process by having our students and your children go to bed early, limit screen time during the evening, and of course to eat a healthy breakfast. And the principals will be promoting that throughout the build up to the state testing. In grade 6, all of our students from all 3 schools had a motivational anti-bullying assembly held at the Grant Elementary School with former professional football player, Mr. Dwayne West. I was able to attend that. It was a really great presentation that the students really seemed to enjoy. Roosevelt School held its PTA-sponsored book fair during the week of April 15th, and students were offered a buy one, get one free opportunity. Lincoln School is celebrating Neurodiversity Spirit Week with theme days, an art project, and peer modeling. And also at Lincoln School, there was a K-5 anti-bullying assembly called the Pirate School, sponsored by the PTA. And at the junior senior high school, the counseling department hosted a trip for 11th graders to visit Iona College and Manhattan College. Last week's Future Friday speaker was the senior director of social production for Nickelodeon. This upcoming Future Friday visit will be with a technician from Samsung Electronics. The district is currently exploring a partnership with Samsung. Students from the Hispanic Art and Culture course attended the Hispanic Flamenco Ballet at Felician University. And I'm hoping that many of our community members will be able to come out to the April 29th art showcase here at the junior senior high school from 6 to 8 p.m. Again, on April 29th, there will be an art gallery walk, some culinary creations, multidisciplinary project displays, musical performance. So it's sure to be a great night for our students to be able to showcase and really perform, and I hope to see you there. Wanted to note that on the agenda this evening, we have the revised district calendar. Specifically, this was due to the Grant Elementary School closure on January 26th. And as a result of that additional closure, there was a requirement to make up a day for students, which will be held on 1 p.m. dismissal on Thursday, June 20th. Wanted to provide a pre-K update. Registration was recently opened on Friday, April 12th. We've made our priority to service all 4-year-old students in an effort to prepare them for kindergarten. We believe we are able to fulfill this based on data gathered from the interest survey. In the event that the number of registered 4-year-old students exceeds the number of those who express interest, a waitlist will be generated for placement. Due to this priority of servicing 4-year-old students, we've been able to determine that we will not have enough seats to accommodate all 3-year-old students who express an interest in the program. Therefore, placement for 3-year-old students, depending on the outcome of registration, will be processed through a lottery drawing, which will occur on Thursday, May 30th. In order to be eligible for the lottery drawing, families must register by May 29th, and additional information regarding the lottery drawing will be shared closer to that date. As noted in faculty and program committee report, school performance reports were made public for all New Jersey schools on April 3rd. These reports include data on demographics, student performance results, and chronic absenteeism rates. The majority of this data was already presented at the September board meeting by Ms. Triglia. I wanted to note that there has been a change of the board meeting date for from May 8th to May 7th to align with the budget calendar, in which the final budget will be recommended by the administration to the board for approval. And lastly, wishing all of our students, families, and staff a very restful spring break, as that's quickly approaching for the upcoming week. And before I conclude my superintendent's report, I wanted to excuse our student reps, Adam and Chloe, so you can attend to many of the other activities that you need to. So thank you again for joining us this evening. And that concludes my report. Thank you, President Martinez.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vespignani. We do not have a state monitor's report today. He had a family emergency. We will now listen to citizens' comments on agenda. Mr. Cooney, if you could just please get me the list, please. Do we have anybody to elevate? We'll give it a minute. We'll give it a minute. Quinn, Quin, you are muted. Maybe a mistake. Ms. Malou, you are muted. If you could please give me your address.
163 East Grand Avenue, Ridgeford Park, obviously.
Good evening, you're on.
Okay, I was looking through the agenda tonight and I have a question regarding the early childhood education teacher. I'm just looking through the performance responsibilities and what's expected. And I'm curious whether this is the same that's expected of all our teachers. I've never seen a list that is so detailed.
Thank you.
I know you'll answer that later, I'm sure. A lot of it is, standard fare, but it just struck me as I was reading it, to include support students in all areas of development, including but not limited to health practices such as washing hands, meals, bathroom needs. So it seems to be an all-encompassing type of listing. And I guess my concern is when we find this person, is that going to mean that there's an actual check off? So if, Johnny doesn't wash his hands that day, does that create an issue for that teacher? It just seems like it's very, very specific. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I'm not really sure. As a retired teacher, I would look at that and say, what am I getting myself in for? There was another, let me just find it. Had to do with the landscaping. I'm not sure when we started this, but it's, well, obviously April 1st. So is this just a one-time deal to improve the general landscape of the district, or is this going to be an ongoing expense? And the other was, I'm noticing a lot of overtimes again, and I don't know whether that's because we've changed the way of the hierarchy, I should say, of the district, or was this just going to be happening? So those are my questions for this evening. And also, can when you do answer, can you repeat that April 29th date for the arts and music at the high school? I'd like the time on it. And if there's a flyer regarding it, the Arts Association would be happy to post that to our Facebook page. And that's it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Malou. Do we have anyone else to elevate? I think we have somebody who. Ms. Serrano? If you can just repeat your address so I can write it down.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Nancy Serrano, 21 Grove. So I am on agenda. I am one of the HIB incidents. So that's what I wrote a little something and somewhat more towards that situation. Whoa. Sorry. Okay, so again, Nancy Serrano, 21 Grove. I began attending these meetings because of the horrendous situations my child was and currently still is since attending RP Junior Senior High. Some may know me and some know that I have older children that graduated from here. So of course, why would I not want my last child to be the same? I have to thank God for the opportunity that I am happy to say we are out of here. Not soon enough. We are out of here. My child will have a chance to live, breathe, and get an education in peace. The zero tolerance nonsense stated is quite interesting when here one can violently attack another and only get a Saturday detention. Or another example, one can threaten to want to shoot another student twice and maybe get suspended. Here's another great example. This was our first. One can call another, excuse my language, I did not say this. One can call another a faggot in writing, proof provided, posted on social media, and nothing happens. Isn't that in the eyes of the law a hate crime? I'm confused why the school thinks they are above the law in some way. I have asked this question a few times to all the major administrators, and no one has answered my question. Why is it that when a staff member or anyone that is working with children, as we are considered mandated reporters in the state of New Jersey, suspect a child is being abused or neglected, the proper authorities get contacted immediately, almost no questions asked, straight to law enforcement. But when a child comes here to those in charge to report that they are being abused by someone here, it gets hidden. No one gets notified. Everything is private, even to the parents of the victim. And the victim gets re-victimized all over again for about almost the next 2 months while this investigation goes on. This is horrible and so wrong. And our children are really getting messed up with having to deal with some of the adults here, yet no one cares. Every day, I am grateful to have the opportunity of having my daughter still present. With what is going on with our youth today and having a lack of structure here, things will continue to get worse. There are so many absent parents here who could care less about what their child is up to or ignoring the havoc caused while they're hurting others. I am not an absent parent, and I will continue to fight to the fullest extent now, more than ever, for my child. She is currently with a concussion. Why? There is a lack of supervision here during physical education class and in many other classes as well. And things have been brushed off way too long. Where are the adults, especially with our middle schoolers? I am disgusted. Have been with so much stomach upset, crying on a regular, which I don't want to do. And just doing my best to breathe and continue one day at a time. Some may think it's dramatic. And honestly, to those ignorant, absent parents, excuse me, sorry. I hope and pray, oh, well, actually, I apologize. Those ignorant, absent parents, your time will come to have to answer to your child's poor behavior. As well as I think it's time for the adults to have to answer to those children that are put under their care. I'm finding this insane that my child attended school and came back home with a concussion. Why? Why? I hope and pray that your child, to all of you, although not many of you have young children, never go home and tell you this and have experienced all of this under the age of 13. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold. Do we have anyone else to elevate? Okay, so I'll close comments on agenda and allow Dr. Vespignani to respond to some of those questions.
Thank you, President Martinez. In regard to the revised early childhood job description, and again, it's important to note that it's revised. There was an existing job description. We decided to do a bit of a refresh because we recently posted for various positions connected to our pre-K expansion. Our director of early childhood had reviewed the job description and made some notes, really non-substantive. The existing job description was largely remained intact. So by comparison, it's pretty standard in terms of what the expectations would be for these types of staff members who work in that area of education. In terms of landscaping, yes, it's ongoing. This was the same kindergarten group that came over the summer months and into the fall. Feedback, and for anyone who walked the grounds, could clearly tell that the grounds were really well maintained, and we're very proud to welcome students back and staff back based upon, the appearance and the aesthetics of the work that they had done. In terms of the overtime, I'm not quite sure specifically as there are three different overtimes listed, but these are all pretty standard and consistent in terms of what the district would need. The April 29th student showcase will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. I would be happy to have our supervisor of business, art, and music share the flyer with the arts program. In terms of the junior senior high school, we take these reports very seriously. The junior senior high school administration works diligently to not only monitor but also respond accordingly to not only policy but also with the law. And I think that's demonstrated in terms of, the twice annual HIB report that, clearly reflects that we are opening, numerous HIB cases as they are reported. So I just wanted to note that for the record. And those are the responses that I have. Thank you, President Martinez.
Thank you, Dr. Espignani. We will now move to our agenda items. Trustee Orth, could you please move policy and regulations 1001?
I so move 1001.
Have a second?
Second.
Mr. Malou. Can I have a roll call? Oh, I'm sorry, any questions or comments on policy? Okay, can I have a roll call?
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Ms. Kraft,
Yes.
Ms. McNeil,
Yes.
Mr. Malou,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Orth,
Yes.
President Martinez.
Yes, the resolution passes. Trustee Kraft, can you please move faculty and programs?
Make a motion to move FP 1101 to FP 1108.
I second.
Do you have any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, can I have a roll call?
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Ms. Kraft,
Yes.
Ms. McNeil,
Yes.
Mr. Malou,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Orth,
Yes.
President Martinez.
Yes, and I actually did have a comment. Thank you to Mr. Abdul Karim Al Mashtawi for donating the 80 polo shirts for grant school. Donations are always welcomed. And that was a yes. Resolution passes. Trustee Cooney, can you please move buildings and grounds?
Yes, sir. Buildings and Grounds Resolutions 12.01 through 12.03. I so move.
Second.
Any questions or comments on buildings and grounds? Seeing none, can I have a roll call?
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Ms. Kraft,
Yes.
Ms. McNeil,
Yes.
Mr. Malou,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Orth,
Yes.
President Martinez.
Yes, and the resolutions pass. Trustee McNeil, could you please move finance and insurance 1301 to 1320?
Yes, I will. I move 1301 to 1320.
Second.
Do you have any questions or comments on finance and insurance?
I just have a comment. Sorry, on 1307, the corrective action plan. I just want to say thank you for making it such a clear document that makes sense to even those of us who don't speak numbers.
You're welcome.
I'd like to make a comment also, please. I'm somewhat concerned about resolution 1309. I would really like our business administrator to provide some documentation as to what the Delta T contract says. I don't understand why we're hiring a landscaping company to do this work when we have custodial staff that can go outside and cut the grass. I was told by someone that they can't do that because they're not permitted to work outdoors. Well, they shovel the snow. I think it's ludicrous that this Board of Education is paying $22,000 for a 4-month period of mowing the lawn. I'll do it for 10. We're crazy for paying this money. How big is the lawn at Grant School? The lawn at Grant School is smaller than most backyards are in Richfield Park. And we're gonna pay $22,000. When it comes time to it, I'm voting no, just so you know.
Mr. Malou, it would be a conflict of interest for you to mow the lawn and get paid for it, but what I will say is this was discussed at length during Buildings and Grounds, and we can revisit the topic if you'd like. But I mean,
That's
tonight
fine.
you
I
have,
just
you have to
think-
vote. but-
That's fine. I just think it's wrong.
Yeah, okay.
And I was being facetious when I said I would do it myself.
I know.
But the bottom line is, why do we have a custodial staff? What are they doing? Why can't they go out and cut the grass?
I just want to be clear, are you making comments or asking questions? Because questions can be answered in Buildings and Grounds. But if you're making a comment, I actually solicited a comment. Was that a comment?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Can I
Any
just
oth-
make,
Any other comments on Buildings and Grounds?
I mean, I think I would like to just state that I feel that the need for the landscaping was highlighted at the beginning of the year when we first hired this landscaping company to come in to significantly improve the building, the grounds of all of our buildings that had been neglected for many years. So I'm not saying it's not worth looking into what we're paying the custodial staff to do versus what we're paying the landscaping to do. But I think that this money has been well spent in that it gives our students a place that they can be proud to come to every day.
Trustee Rodriguez, you had a comment?
I had a comment about FNI 13.18. I just want to thank the superintendent and Mrs. Triglia for looking into programs like mathnasium and other after-school program because it's ultimately is about the children. And we've constantly talked about an FMP, possibly after-school programs or enrichment programs for our children. But we're taking baby steps. And I just want to thank Superintendent and also Ms. Triglia for looking at into these programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on Buildings and Grounds?
It's not Buildings and
I'm sorry,
Grounds.
I'm sorry. Finance and Insurance, sorry, I already checked it. Finance and Insurance, any other comments or questions? Okay, can I please have a roll call?
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Ms. Kraft, Ms. McNeil,
Yes.
Mr. Malou,
Yes, all except 1309.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes, but I'm on 1301.
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Orth,
Yes.
President Martinez.
Yes to all. The resolutions pass. Trustee Malou, could you please move consent agenda 1401?
I move the consent agenda 1401.
Second.
Any questions or comments on consent agenda?
Just a comment, this use of facility is very important to the village and changes to our park system, and I would encourage people to attend it.
To be clear, that's on May 1st, between 5:30 and 8 p.m. In the auditorium of the high school. Any other comments on consent agenda? Seeing none, can I have a roll call?
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Ms. Kraft,
Yes.
Ms. McNeil,
Yes.
Mr. Malou,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Orth,
Yes.
President Martinez.
Yes, the resolution passes. Trustee Kraft, would you please move personnel 1501 to 1505?
Sure. I make a motion to move 1501 to 1505.
Second.
Any questions or comments? While you warm up, I have one. I'd like to thank the resigning special education teacher, Ms. Folstrom, for serving the children of Richfield Park. Good luck in all your future endeavors. I would also like to welcome Ms. Licurdo, teacher assistant, and our two new substitute teachers, Natalie Armstrong and Brianna Esteves. Teacher assistants and substitute teachers are the key to a smooth and effective operation of the district by filling in gaps, bolstering the impact of instruction, and covering for teachers when they're out. I expect that all of you will find Richfield Park's children, parents, and coworkers amazing. Do we have any other comments? Okay, can I have a roll call on personnel?
Mr. Cooney,
Yes.
Ms. Kraft,
Yes.
Ms. McNeil,
Yes.
Mr. Malou,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt,
Yes.
Ms. Velez,
Yes.
Ms. Orth,
Yes.
President Martinez.
Yes, and the resolutions pass. We will now listen to citizens' comments off agenda. Again, I would like to ask that we keep to the generous 5-minute limit, asking specific questions, and allow the board and the superintendent time to research and answer questions properly. Do we have anyone to elevate from the public? Okay. What? Somebody? All right, good.
Hi.
Hi, Ms. Malou.
Janet Malou, 163 East Grand. Um, two quick comments. One is, Dr. Vespiani, when you said the, arts group, it's actually the Arts Association, and I will try to drop you an email, so that you know where they can send or tell me who to reach out to. And, I will make sure whatever flyer advertising that gets on the Richfield Park Arts Association, which we are a nonprofit. We're not part of the town, because we like to actually highlight our students. The second thing is, and unfortunately, I'm looking for the paper and I don't have it in front of me. A couple of weeks back, I guess it was, there was a report of how all the schools performed. And I was kind of curious how the high school actually was, from the 4 schools in the district, they came in at the lowest rating. And yet we have a reasonably high graduation rate. And I think we've talked about this maybe in the past, but I'm just curious how the connection is there. And the more I thought about it, I don't know whether it's that the state is expecting extremely high, unrealistic goals, trying to be fair at both ends of the fence, or that we are just need to really maybe change our approach here, or possibly that we have students that just, percentage of students, I should say, that just aren't interested in learning. I don't know what the answer is, but when you look at it against the state, it was rather disheartening. And with all the attempted improvements that are going on, I'm really hoping that changes the picture. Because if I were from the outside looking in and looking for a district to move into, seeing that would really be a flag to me. And I know this was on agenda, but just as a last comment, until the landscaping was pointed out at one of the past meetings. I didn't even notice it. What I did notice is the new sign on Roosevelt School, which is actually very nice to see. And that's it for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. V, would you like to respond?
Yes, thank you, President Martinez, and thank you, Ms. Malul, as always, for your comments, and thank you for clarifying the Arts Association. We will gladly send the flyer too. To be clear, the school performance reports are from the 22-23 school years, so they're last year's data, and the administration is currently and ongoing reviewing that data as it results to future planning. So thank you for your comments again.
If I can just follow up on that comment, Ms. Malul, about the district's scorecard, or I guess report card for the district. This board has taken, recently my Facebook just celebrated an anniversary of this board taking an unprecedented step of going through a very diligent and transparent superintendent search. And that was the beginning of many things that this board has done to change the climate in this district, to change the direction of this district. As I said, the fact that the school report card has caught up to the opinion of this board, every single person on this board ran because they weren't happy with that scorecard. So the fact that those numbers are public, we've known that for a long time. We've known that for decades, in fact, in this district. Those numbers haven't been good in a long time. And so we have taken many unprecedented steps, this board has, and taken the political heat for it and the personal heat for it. And we are very hopeful that things are changing. We see evidence of it. We are very optimistic. I think for the first time in my 6 years on this board, I have allowed myself to feel optimistic about the direction of this district. So a lot of evaluation was done this year to see where our gaps are and to see what we're doing very well. And the next year will be where action takes place. And so I know you'll stay tuned, and I know you'll hold our feet to the fire, and I look forward to giving you better news in the years to come. And with that, I'd like to close the meeting. Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I think everybody's in favor. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.